Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a supernatural horror film, As Above, So Below. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The story begins with an interview by a French Discovery Channel. The interviewee, Scarlett, is a university professor who has acquired PhDs in archaeology, chemistry, and symbolism at a young age. With proficiency in 6 languages and a black belt in martial arts, she is an absolute genius. Her father, who was also a famous alchemy scholar, devoted his life to searching for the Philosopher's Stone. It is believed that the Philosopher's Stone can turn any ordinary metal into gold and grant eternal life by opening the space tunnel. However, legends exist only in imagination by far, and people's search for the stone only exists in books. Scarlett's father was criticized for his obsession with the research, and even when he hung himself after suffering from depression, rumor says he was insane. Scarlett's passion for the stone is nothing second to her father's. 600 years ago, the Philosopher's Stone was discovered by Nicholas Flamel. According to legend, he hid the clues to the stone on his tombstone, but so far no one has been able to figure it out. This time round, Scarlett discovers the rose key in a cave in Iran, which allows her to translate alchemy symbols into Arabic. Along with her documentarian, Scarlett asks her friend George, a linguist, to help with the translation. After translating the inscription, they get a series of codes. Through reasoning, they derive the location of the alchemy stone, which lays about 370 feet below Nicholas' tomb. The map indicates that Nicholas' tomb is connected to the catacombs of Paris, which are known as the Tombs of Skulls. The catacombs in what is now the Place de Daniel Rothschild in Paris contain the remains of nearly 6 million people. In 1786, when the plague broke out in Paris, bones were removed from the cemetery and placed in the catacombs. In order to fulfill her father's last wish and prove her academic commitment, Scarlett organizes an expedition to the catacombs of Paris in search of the alchemy stone. The team consists of Scarlett, George, documentarian, a catacomb guide, and his 2 friends. George is afraid of caves because his brother had died in them, and he refuses to go. However, when the rest get ready to enter the caves, a man in black suddenly attacks them. In the chaos, George is also driven into the caves. On their journey, guide sees a half-melted candle. Not far ahead, a group of women dressed in white were singing as if they were hosting some kind of cult event. As it is quite a common scene, the team does not mind it at all. The closest road to Nicholas' tomb is a secret tunnel. Legend has it that no one has ever walked out of that tunnel alive. Guide's male friend enters the tunnel out of curiosity and mysteriously disappears after that. Owing to Guide's strong objection, the team has to climb over the skulls to reach another narrow passage. When the documentarian climbs out of the passage, the bone pile behind him suddenly collapses, and the passage back is blocked. As Guide has misled them earlier, they have no other way out except trying the mysterious tunnel. The team reluctantly enter the tunnel. Strangely enough, before they walk further, there is a phone ringing. But it is impossible to have a telephone line in this deep catacomb. At the corner of the tunnel stands a piano. After George's observation, he finds that the piano is the same one in his childhood home. The strange phone calls continue to ring. Following the sound, Scarlett finds the phone and answers it. A man's voice comes out, and he keeps asking Scarlett why she refuses to talk with him. Scarlett's face turns pale with fear, for the voice is clearly her dead father's. Right at the moment, much to their shock, Missing comes back. The walls overhead are cracking, and the tunnel could collapse at any moment. Without further ado, Missing leads the team to a deep well. Missing reveals to them this is the only exit. Having no choice, they follow him down the well, but as soon as they land, there's a piercing neigh. A little boy flashes before Missing's eyes and disappears. Under the guidance of the Missing, Scarlett enters a crypt full of symbols. The symbols happen to match with the letters they interpret from Nicholas' tombstone. After some calculations, Scarlett removes a stone, cracks the mechanism, and opens the crypt. They discover an uncorrupted corpse in the crypt. That is Nicholas, who has been dead for 600 years. Beside him there is a water pool. Passing through the tunnel beneath the pool, they arrive at another crypt, which boasts various kinds of treasures. The dark red Flamel stone is embedded in a sun pattern on one wall. Guide and Missing are thrilled about the treasures, and remove the fences of the treasure storeroom by force. Immediately after they have done that, stone walls crumble, and the crypt collapses. At once, the treasure room turns into rubbles, and Guide's lady friend is injured. Scarlet treats her injuries with the alchemy stone. The wounds are healed right away. It is proven that Flumel stone has healing power. The team begin to seek other exists. Scarlet finds another passage hidden under the crypt. Entering it, they find a phrase in Greek, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," the same as the entrance to hell in Dante's Inferno. This sentence makes them shudder. But they have to move forward without much choice. Behind the narrow passage appears a third crypt, looking identical to the first one. However, over here, the picture is upside down, and the corpse is rotten. Missing is sitting inside with a dull look. Lady steps forward to check his well-being, and is suddenly killed by the catatonic Missing. Worse off, Missing vanishes after he has done the killing. Sadly this time, the stone cannot heal at all. Leaving the crypt, they come to an identical deep well. The timid documentarian is the last to go down, but is accidentally frightened by a woman in white with a dead baby in her arms. He falls to his death, unfortunately. As the group comes to the pile of dead bodies, George unexpectedly sees his dead brother in the churning sewage. As they move forward, there is a burning car deep in the tunnel. A boy sitting in the car turns around and gives Guy a creepy smile. While Guy shouts out it is not his fault, he is suddenly sucked into the fire, with only 2 legs left. Now there are only 3 survivors in the catacombs, namely Scarlet, George, and Missing. But the torture in such a hell does not simply end there. With constant wailing from all sides, rotten bodies are wandering around to attack them. George is bitten by the rotten body as he runs. Scarlet suddenly remembers the last code on Nicholas' tombstone. By correcting, "You will find the hidden stone." She realizes the flamer stone is a trap. They can only find the real stone after returning the current one. In order to save George, Scarlet decides to return to the crypt alone. Along the way, demons constantly haunt her, and even torture her with the image of her father's suicide. After some twists and turns, Scarlet finally puts the stone back. Then she notices that right in the center of the fresco is a bronze mirror. Scarlet comes to realize the mechanism of the catacombs. It turns out to be a mirrored hell divided into 2 levels, with the curse engraved on the hell entrance in Dante's Inferno as the demarcation point. Above for the upper hell, below for the lower hell. On the top, the Flemmer stone has healing power and preserve corpses. In the upper hell, external power works, so objects endowed with spiritual forces can do magic. While in the bottom, physical things are useless. What works is faith comes from one's within. The team have come into the catacombs, because each of them has certain wrongdoings. Scarlet did not answer her father's last call, made before his suicide. That is why when she enters the upper hell, she is questioned by her father. George's younger brother drowned in a cave, but George did not rescue him in time, because he lost his way. So he sees a hallucination about his brother below. God is burnt to death in the Inferno, because he did not save his companions from the fire. Missing made his girlfriend suffer from pregnancy and labor pain. But he avoided the responsibility, and refused to admit it. So he saw the boy's phantom in the upper hell. Lady dies, because she did not look for her friend when he was missing. However, documentarian sin is not very clear shown. Based on the woman in white and the dead baby, seen in the lower hell, it can be inferred that the documentarian may be guilty of forcing her to have an abortion. Upon her realization, Scarlet returns to the phantom of her father at once. She sincerely apologizes to him for not answering his phone call on his last day. And then she goes back to George and saves him by her faith. As the 3 of them admit their faults, they jump down a deep hole hand in hand. There is another door at the bottom, which delivers them right up to the street of Paris. The trio finally escape out of hell, and Scarlet and George end up with an affectionate hug, but without hormone let go. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.